Good evening, everybody. On behalf of Sild Art Initiative, so I would like to welcome all of you who have joined this evening for this discussion. Presentation of Samir Mohanty. I'll give you a brief of the artist. Samir Mohanty is an artist from Orissa who has done his bachelor's from BK College of Art in Orissa and then moved to Hyderabad and did his master's from SME School of Arts and Communication from there. And he has been practicing in Delhi, he stays in Delhi, practicing in Delhi for last few years and have been part of few important group exhibitions. And the recent ones are Green Pictures and Urban Streets, which were Art Pilgrim Live, curated by Pranamita Burbahan. And recently he had participated in another group exhibition, Triveni Kala Sangam by Anant Art Gallery. And there are many other exhibitions at Piramal Art Center and all, so he's participated. So I'm talking about the young researcher and archivist Priyanka Bhardwaj, whom I know for last few years. We used to work together at National Gallery of Modern Art in New Delhi. So Priyanka is an art historian, researcher, and archivist. She has received her master's in art history. I think criticism they say, art history, no, history of art from
History of art.
National Museum Institute in New Delhi. And she has a diverse uh, background, or maybe her practice ranges from diverse art forms, from modern to contemporary to folk and tribal. Like she has worked at National Gallery of Modern Art, working with all those modern contemporary art. And then she worked with some other foundations, private foundations in Delhi, where she has, I think, folk and tribal art forms. So, yeah. And I'll give you a brief about SILD. So I think most of you know about this SILD Art Initiative, but just like a small glimpse of SILD Art, how it started and when we started, why we are doing all this. So SILD we started in 2014, like actually started by two art ladies from the circuit, Pranamita and Suchismita, and we have become a support leader for them. So around 10 of artists friends from Delhi and other parts of the country, in fact. So they all have come together and they become the support system of this initiative. So this is not-for-profit initiative operating from Delhi, but doing several activities across India. So the only rule still follows that we don't keep any boundary based on the language, reason, or maybe ideology. So we don't go on to that. Only the art which we look at. That's the only demarcation point. Which we, if the art is good, so even the artist is like from anywhere in the country or across the border, so sometimes beyond the borders. So we bring them on board and we do several activities with them. We started doing from the artist presentation at my own house in the living room of my house, and then slowly moved to galleries, started collaborations, we did exhibitions, we did workshops, and then we did artist studio visits, which was very popular among the young artists and the student artists. And this is an extended form of that. Due to this pandemic, we were unable to do any kind of physical activities, so we tried to get into the artist studio through the virtual medium. So like even sometimes the studio visit and sometimes the artist presentation where the artists talk about their work. And that's how we bring every session, like it's a weekly session, every Saturday, Sunday usually host it. We bring young artists mostly working in the diverse medium. And also we try and bring a young researcher or creator, sometimes noted one, sometimes very renowned also. Like last few like series, we have had Rina Vincent talking about Marcus's work. We had Amita Gupta Singh from Bombay. We had Vinay Kumar, a senior critic from Patna. So many people like that, and several artists. And SILD always follow one principle, which I am attuned to. Like it's a Kabir ka doha, like Nindak niyare rakhiye angan kuti chhabaye. So this we always follow that. We always become a critic of each other in our group. So that's how we try and like grow ourselves in the coming future. And this is how we have built up till now. So yeah, this is a more or less a brief about Sil. So now I'll hand it over to Priyanka, who will be in conversation with Samir.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Vikas, for introducing us. Thank you. And thank you, Shield Art Initiative, for bringing us together here for this talk. Samir, don't spill the beans in the first question. You have to wait for the entire session.
okay,
Okay, so meanwhile, when I'm just sharing the screen, so you can say your greetings, Samir.
okay. So can you show PPT now, or shall I start?
No, wait. Let me introduce you.
Okay, I think Vikas just did. Okay.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
thank you all for joining us, and thank you Vikas and Pranmita for having these all discussions, and Priyanka too for carrying it further. And first, let's start like how I starts my practice. I work
Wait,
with lot.
Samir.
Okay,
Samir,
yeah,
wait. So I remember that when we were having a discussion about your artworks, I
yeah,
don't remember for how long I know you. I think it's quite a few years. I don't remember the time period, but
yeah.
whenever
Three
we have
years,
had
but
a yeah, so whenever we have had this discussion over your art practice, one thing that has stood out in that discussion and that's very recurrent is that your love for material. You
yeah,
just love it, for your
yeah. I
every
just love it.
artwork. It's
Yeah,
about the material, right? And then
yeah,
the concept.
yeah,
So the various exhibitions that I have gone, I have seen, and when I visited your studio and when you showed me the varieties of your work, uh, you know it's easy to derive this conclusion that the corporeality of the material becomes the
yeah,
center stage. It
yeah,
becomes a center of attention, but at the same time it assists you
yeah,
as a viewer, and it also engages you, right, to further discover and explore your art, and the complexity of your concepts that you have represented in the work layer by layer. It
yeah,
doesn't give away in 1 second, right? So when somebody is approaching your art, they will look at the craft that you have put in, they will look at the material, and then they will just try and understand the concept after that. So they have a
yeah,
lot going on as a viewer, right?
yeah,
Second thing that I noticed was that how you kind of capitalize the entire material to your advantage, and how seemingly you bring all the components together, right, without
yeah,
delineating from their essence.
yeah,
And that, I think, precisely establishes you a different sort of an artist, right?
yeah,
Third important thing, which I think we have started discussing now for this talk, and which we will be exploring it further in the talk, in today's talk, is that uh, you have started identifying more with being an experimentalist
yeah,
who ventures mostly in environmental art, right? Rather than confiding to the pre-existing classifications like painting, like other forms of art. You have literally taken advantage of this contemporary scenario, where there are so many mediums, so many ways of expressing yourself. You have completely combined it, and yet you're not um, just associated with one genre, right? So how about we start this discussion today with uh, first artwork?
yeah.
So why don't you take us through it?
Okay. So can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So this is a work I have started in 2019, sorry, 2009, and this I still get inspired from this work. Because this work was so much fulfilling for me at that time in 2009, last year of my bachelor degree. And this work was a spontaneous act actually. I was doing a video work, and that video work will be shown after this. After finishing that video work, we were taking bath. There was a little waterfall, and we were three people in there. And one of my friend actually, he was really hairy. So and we are in a very vast landscape. It was there in Bhubaneswar, and I said, okay, let's do a little more work. Then I told him to paint. I painted on his body. Then I told him to lay on the ground, and I took some photographs from tortoise eye view, not fish eye view, tortoise, like you just see like a snake or a tortoise. So it is more like we indulged ourselves so much into that landscape, and and also at that time I used to go paint watercolor and oil color landscape paintings. So this is an adapt to that, but here it is like not oil or watercolor or any other painting. And also here I have added some paint, though that is just for to give an effect of grass to his body that I have added. So here it was an experiment with uh, exterior landscape and our body, how we are so very much related. and and I have noticed when we were engaging with the landscape in there, but I didn't notice it very much till seeing his like his naked body. I could have laid him ground without putting colors, but it is sometimes we just play with things. So that's how this work has emerged, and how our body and landscape become a singular reality. So
So basically, it's
you can,
intertwined with the
yeah,
background and with the your surrounding.
yeah, and
Continue.
this is you can go to next image that shows a little bit different view. Yeah, you can. I love his legs actually very much. And how I took so many photographs by posing him in different places in that particular space, how it goes with the environment or nature. These were some sort of play that we were having in there, and he was also enjoying so much to that activity. Then it was kind of community work become, though my idea was mine. And yeah, at same he has also like same contribution as I did. Now you can go to that video work that we were doing early before taking these photographs. Yeah. So I will be silent a little bit now. I think 3 minutes, it won't take much time. Would it be okay, right? Okay, let's me talk while this video is going, because this is going to be repeated 2-3 times. So this was, as I said, I used to go paint landscape paintings throughout in oil color or watercolor. So instead of doing after 2009, instead of doing that, I said, okay, let's become landscape. Here, the way I have seen this work, it is like I'm posing myself as a different entity. Like like you see an insect do their work. They go eat and fall down, and they live in their life, and we witness sometimes, and sometimes we not. But same with lamb, goat, any other animal that we have. And here I didn't wanted to use brain so much. It was like only about physics, how physics works sometimes, how physics works in the natural environment. And here I fell down from the tree. It was a coincidence. Then I actually enjoyed that very much. Then I have repeated that 2-3 times, and then I went that through the land divider. You see, it was sometimes it's just good to indulge with the landscape. So because when at that time I used to paint realistic oil paintings, so there was not much to think of. So rather create a landscape throughout a video or photography.
So you're saying that you
Yeah,
started interacting with various mediums because sort of like the traditional mediums like painting was blocking
yeah. In
or it
2009,
was
I was
unhelpful
seeing.
in expressing.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Continue.
Uh, in 2009, I was seeing some in Delhi or my seniors. They were kind of exploring video work, something like that. So it was an inspiration from that, and I had a camera. I said, okay, let's do landscape rather than just painting it, and that's how this all began. Is the video over now?
No, it's not over. I had to stop it.
Okay, okay. It's you playing it from beginning.
Yeah, it's going now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this work, most of my works are actually I am the subject, and I don't know how and why it comes, but I am very much focused on myself. It's kind of I'm exploring myself or I'm knowing myself. It is something like that because whenever I see exterior world and try to indulge with it,
mhm.
I I kind of find it sometimes boring. Like we have so much in within ourselves, and I cannot just handle outsider world that much. Actually, it is not my zone. So that's how I deal with myself and explore myself. So this
So
work is part of that.
huh.
Yeah,
So from 2009, what we just saw, the kind of experimentation that you were doing, um, and seeing your artwork now in 2018, 19, and 20, you have come a
yeah,
long way, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, how do you see art now, and how, as a creative, you have grown?
yeah. Actually, I see myself now as I was seeing during this 2009. That time it was so fulfilling. And after my master degree from Hyderabad, when I came to Delhi for 4 or 5 years, it was kind of chaotic. So I born in a rural area. Then also Hyderabad was a quite peaceful area where I didn't know the city chaos. When I came to Delhi, it was so frustrating for me. I couldn't adjust myself here. And then but I had some self belief that okay, this is a new thing I have to go through. Then I have experimented a lot. Then suddenly I kind of realized why I become an artist, what did really interest me. Then all those childhood things came, how how I enjoyed color, form, and roaming around land. Then I discovered something like, okay, I have to focus on myself, and leave the exterior world very much. Then I can understand myself, then go through and create artworks. So that's how these all things began. And here this work is 2017. You can see distance between it, like it's about a decade, 2019-17. And yet this is the first one I remember my bachelor times. Then here it is same thing. I am indulging myself to the landscape and painting those grasses that I have taken photographs, and some rains are coming over. And if you see the content and concept, it is more like, I'm really fulfilled with whatever we have. I have very less questions. Sometimes more I have towards life is acceptance. So here that's why I have given the title an acceptance. And this is, you know uh, this is so much of so much of fulfillment of life. That's how I see this artwork.
Okay.
Yeah, can go to next one. Or yeah, this is this symbolizes same thing. But here as I am living in Delhi, Delhi people, when rain comes, they go to their rooftop. That I have witnessed in 2012, 13, 14, that time. So that was quite curious to me, not like quite interesting to me at that time. So I imposed my, like I painted myself sleeping on that on the rooftop. But it applies not chaos, but as when on the rooftop people who are dancing, at the same time they all individuals who are enjoying themselves, not company with their family and all, and also they were enjoying themselves. So here I have painted myself as a single being, or accepting same things, rain, or acceptance of life.
So you were saying that the kind of the dealings that you were having around,
Yeah,
especially coming from a rural area, a place
yeah,
which which you were very familiar with, and when that landscape changed for you
yeah,
from the the urban towards the urban area, it actually jolted your creativity in a way that you were not aware of, how to accept it, and it
yeah,
was bothering you, right? So that
yeah,
introspection that comes is when you are at a juncture of of time and of life where nothing is happening as per your desire, right?
yeah, yeah,
So finding the peace that okay, whatever is happening around me is a part of, I have to accept it because that's my new reality, right?
yeah,
So I think these two artworks are kind of the product of that,
yeah,
right? Where you are trying you are just introspecting when you are lying
yeah,
down in the grass.
yeah,
Okay, this is your landscape, and then this comes the urban scape where it's raining, and yet the enjoyment is only when you have an acceptance of the urban environment.
yeah.
Okay, so before we move forward, we have only 7 minutes left to this meeting. Please
Okay, and we have a lot of
rejoin.
works.
Yeah, we have just started. So after this, please like rejoin with us so that we can show you all the curated works. Okay,
Okay,
so let's continue.
yeah. This is called Deep Breath. It's in 2017, and this has begun. While in Haryana they used to born that haze and paddy to make it usable. But in Delhi we actually suffer, and at that time, can you guys hear me, right?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. At the time, when you go out of your room, out of your place, your eyes are burning, and you cannot take oxygen properly. You cannot breathe properly. So this is a reaction to that. I just wanted to bury my head to the to the ground, to the earth, and take the earth into the body, something like that. And here, where I'm taking a rest in my own hand, the same thing. Like, how would you deal with these situations? Because you cannot go and stop them, or you cannot complain, because these are the due to this high population, because earth is peopling a lot. And but you try to find your own way out. So that's how it's a, I don't know if it will be like very much intellectual or something, or a childish act, but this satisfied me a lot, especially the figure where I'm putting my head to the earth, to the ground, like taking earth in. Sometimes my works are, most of the time they are actually sometimes event basis, that a little or a bigger. Sometimes I witness or some events occurs around me, and they become part of a document of that particular time, something like that.
So basically, here you have tried to represent a certain incident which related to pollution, right? So
Yeah.
Haryana people, they were burning the crops, and from there the pollution was just going everywhere, and all of it. So then again, the question is that this is a unique representation, right? As an artist, as a creative, how are you going to describe that? Why this sort of an image or visual representation justifies the concept that you are discussing here? Like, how come this is like upside down
Yeah,
on
yeah,
our
absolutely.
right, and this one is where it's almost morphed, right? Where you are
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
your head in your hand. So how is
yeah.
this coming along? As a creative, how are you going to describe that this is giving you satisfaction, the morphed images, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question actually. And here when I have described about that incident, that 2017, those smoke things.
Mhm.
I'm not only speaking about that particular thing actually. It can be dealt with anything, like your own frustration that you want to deal with, how you gonna deal with, how where your brain would be. So if suppose I am like too frustrated, then how where I will go. So that's how I buried my face somewhere that I even can't see my face. So it's like that. It's not only dealing with pollution and all, it also can deal with psychological problem. And my works actually, they are not very much they don't show very much of uh, that reality of particular time. It starts from there, then it expands.
Okay.
Okay.
So you were saying that it's still developing,
Yeah,
right?
like it can add up, and anyone can add up to their own frustration. It's not only about smoke, it adds so much other things too.
So conceptually also your art stays relevant and keeps on developing.
Yeah,
It just doesn't finish when once you have painted and once you have exhibited
yeah,
somewhere, or you have sold your art. It just doesn't
yeah.
finish now. It's an
Yeah, and
ever.
also here I have said my story, but when somebody sees the work, he or she doesn't have to relate to that story actually. These are because this image, and anyone can relate to their own frustration or their own enjoyment. Some works I try to keep them free, that you can see them from any perspective.
So you are leaving it for open to interpretation.
Yeah, yeah.
And why? What is the significance of that? Because
Uh,
generally when you talk about artists, they are very particular about what they think and what they want to portray and represent. So they want the public to only understand what they are representing and what they are saying, right?
yeah.
Open to interpretation goes like, it's very unique in a way that not everybody agrees with it.
Yeah.
So why are you keeping it open to interpretation?
Because I am not keeping any symbolic image here apart from two individuals. So you can see that's how I try to open it. If I will put other like building forms or smokes, then it will be identified of particular that moment. But it starts from my psychology at that moment. Like I got frustrated, but one person can add up to his or her frustration, not like from my perspective, but from her perspective or his perspective. You can see this work. That's how I am opening it. And yeah.
So you are trying to connect with the audience
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah, like
A passive way.
here I am seeing that story as a viewer actually. Like I have done that work, but at the same time I'm a viewer. I can relate to any other story that I have witnessed or I have suffered through. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 1 minute remaining for this
Okay.
meeting. I would request everybody to please rejoin. And Samir, you're
Yeah.
you're acting as if you're very pareshan. So
Oh,
don't.
no, I'm not actually. You see, we are talking pollution. We were talking about pollution now, na? So
Yeah.
that's, I think, that's natural, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we will
I
go to
can.
the next part, but after we join back. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you can continue, please, talking about this.
About this one, I think I am over on this one. We can go to next one, then we can start from there. Yeah. This is, while I was doing that the earlier work that we were discussing, and this work took a little longer time. It was about I have taken 1 year, but in between that time, I was doing lots of other works too. And this work has started from a dream actually. Sometimes you just try to find a calm place for yourself, and here everyone has their own thing going on. Like if you see that single person is sitting, it's more like a positive landscape, an utopian world that I have created here, and it is more of meditative. At the in while you are living in a city, and I think as an artist, when I paint this gives a great deal of satisfaction actually. And this is such a reflection. And yeah, and as I have earlier discussed, those landscapes are coming here. The 2009 landscape, you see those grassland, and this one, and the first photographs that we have done. Yeah, these all experiences are coming in here. Can you go to that landscape then? Yeah. So you can see if from 2009 to 2000, this is in 2018. So there is like 4 or 5 year of gap. Then again, these things are coming. So, but here it is like when you have had something so fulfilling, they immerse again and again throughout your life. Like we remember things, we sometimes try to be nostalgic, whether about love life or anything that we are fascinated and enjoyed. So this is something like that.
Okay, so it is basically coming from your unconscious mind.
Yeah, kind of unconscious and
And the
subconscious.
reality,
Yeah.
and the reality that you have lived and you miss.
Yeah.
Which is you're not a part of your urban environment anymore.
Yeah. Now it's like when you understand your own psychology very well, it won't matter that where you are, where your physical body is. So that's how I do not think that when if you live in Delhi, it doesn't mean you have to work on Delhi, or you have to work on urban spaces. We can, as humans, we have that great advantage of going anywhere. Brain can travel. Speed of the brain is so much that cannot be compared with anything. So that's how I see life now.
All right. Shall we move to the next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, yeah. My works are actually, I'm showing back and forth because, you just cannot be, happy for a year, then sad for a year. Everything comes like back and forth. So this is in 2014. Like just after 2 years from Hyderabad, I was kind of frustrated and lazy at that time, and I was really sleeping a lot. Because it was really hard to comprehend with the society at that point of time. And at the same time also, I was very much interested in physics. I was seeing a lot of video of Stephen Hawking in that Big Bang theory and black hole and all. And I was frustrated in the art scenario, but I was very much enjoying the physics point of view. Everything's become like atoms and all. And when I have studied, I was seeing that Stephen Hawking's Big Bang and black hole kind of things. It was so exciting that I was kind of thinking that this Big Bang gonna happen now, or Big Crunch gonna happen now. And also I was silent at the same time. I had said I was sleeping a lot. Then I couldn't work for almost 1 or 2 years. Then I kind of witnessed that how time flies, and sometimes we like we weren't here before. Now we are here, and there will be time we will be not here. So that's how this work has emerged. It's called Towards Unknown, where you can see a black hole, and it's the whole landscape in the whole earth become kind of a candle. It's just it has its existence, but at the same time it's going to be over. And also, like in this painting, everybody is doing their own work. It's not like kind of worried or something, but a person you can see just looking at the sky. Yeah, it is quite significant for me because and also while I was studying that Big Bang theory and history of everything of Stephen Hawking, though I couldn't understand like 99% of that book because I'm not that intellectual. But sometimes when you go through these all, they create a sense in your subconscious mind. They take a place in there, and if you are an artist, they comes throughout image, or if you are a writer, they comes throughout your writing and all.
So basically, it's the
knowledge
representation.
knowledge and understanding and imagination, they have their own place. Sometimes you cannot understand throughout knowledge, but that knowledge just the knowingness becomes create something in your mind, and though you cannot understand, but same time you can imagine and express throughout the convincing medium that one has.
Right.
Yeah, you can do the next image. We can see the little detail we have put in there.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
basically, this is your impression of what you studied in physics and how you relate, and whatever you understood from such a big concept, which was written by Stephen Hawking, the Big Bang Theory. We all have seen the series, but then that's way away from the reality. So the black hole and whatever you understood. So whatever you have understood, you have that impression has been put into a visual representation form, right?
I wanted to use it. That whole year I have lost by with frustration and I think procrastination, and I just do not wanted to go away that experience that time. So sometimes I collect some moments and bring them to to bring them throughout an image as an artist. Yeah. We can go to next. We have now other ones too.
So here, in the first slide when we were discussing about your 2009 experience, you at that point you were discussing that painting wasn't giving you that space and that form to express yourself, right? But here we see that the solitude and the introspection that's been happening, you are expressing it very clearly here, in the painting, in the traditional medium as well. So like talk about that shift a little, like as a creative person, how that shift came in being, and what exactly your experience was that you went back to the traditional medium which you were frowning upon earlier.
Like that time I was enjoying so much, and I kind of got fulfilled. That's how I started video work. Like when you have completed something that you think that you don't want to do it more, then you explore something else. And after quite of a time, those experience again comes, because some as I say, we sometimes becomes nostalgic. We travel back in time. So that's how I have kind of got interested again with those to those landscapes that I have done. Then it's emerged it's come out again. Then I am keep doing right now. Right now I'm kind of enjoying painting also so much. Other with that a lot of other works too. So I consider a versatile artist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we are trying to establish, that you are an experimentalist.
And also that happened because in Hyderabad you have one called your professional medium. You are painting or sculpture or something. With that you have to do also other medium. We have two things. So that also helped me a lot to understand another medium. You do painting at the same time. What else you have done? So to open sort of other perspective. Yeah. Can go to next.
So now we are going to explicitly talk about medium, like, why certain mediums that you choose. So for instance, twigs, the jujube twigs, jo ber ka ped hota hai. And as you have said it many a times, that material is very important for you, right?
Yeah, sometimes,
so
like most of the times, yeah.
Right, like, mostly it is, quite often it is for you that material does matter. So tell us that, how did you come to this medium, right? How did you explore it, and, why the jujube tree? Talk about the characteristics of it, that, why, I chose jujube trees because they're strong and all of it.
Yeah. In Delhi, I said, I was searching nature when I came to Delhi, that I said I used to be in the nature. Then here I said, okay, let's discover whatever we have around in Delhi, whatever I have around my area. Then I was just traveling and looking at different things in nature, and so these particular twigs really caught my eye. We have jujube trees all over India. In Odisha also we have, but in Odisha, this kind of form you won't see in that bear ka ped. I think everybody can understand. Bear ka jo ped hota hai, this is that jujube tree. In Odisha, they are not that strong, and they are long trees. But here, I think due to environmental thing, that's how here they take different forms. They are become more thorny because where you have less water, that's why. And when you have less water, some trees becomes more they are deformed in a certain way. Like if you go to Sahara or Africa, you see a lot of thorny trees in desert area because they have that's how they are. And here I just at the beginning I just loved collecting the twigs, and I was only making nests for almost 4 or 5 years. This is a series I've been continuing since I'm in Delhi since last 8 years. It's gone.
Yeah, sorry, it's just
okay. At first I was just collecting twigs, then I was making a lot of nests only. After 3-4 years I was unable to carry it further, and then I said, okay, let's make something that if it doesn't make sense also, that's fine. That's how this form came out. And can you do the next one? Yeah, and this all after making a realistic bird nest, this kind of forms emerged. When you do a lot and you get bored with that sort of thing, then you try to take it further in a, because when you deal with materials, sometimes it's just you cannot think of any concept. Sometimes it's just you try to play with the material and take it to give different forms. That's how these all taken forms. Take now show the another one. Next one, yeah. After I have started twigs work from 2013 till 2017. I was unable to carry it further. But while I go and collect twigs, most of the time these thorns got into my hands. At the beginning, I wasn't concentrating on that. But suddenly in 2018, that kind of, I think throughout experience, I got to realize how actually why these forms actually got me interested. Because it has certain quality, I think interest, and we just cannot get interested ourselves into something. Rather, interest manifests itself and grips us. Like they have certain quality that you go towards them, they drag you. That's how I think artists are unique in their own practice. So this, when blood comes out my hand, when I saw the blood, while I was collecting these twigs, there I kind of got an aha moment, an eureka moment, that that's why I am actually interested in this kind of object, this kind of materials. So they are a connection that is there. I was unable to catch it. So then after that, seeing that blood, then I kind of connected to the nerve system, that how exterior world is very much connected to our interior organ, our inner engineering. So this is my favorite work actually, particularly this one where I'm making, imposing. This is a self-image that I am lying down, and this is like nerve system and all. At the same time, you see it's a kind of, it gives a life because the twigs had a history. It given oxygen. It has its own place, and also it is stickable. But here I have preserved it. It can be stay as long a canvas or as long even an iron sculpture stage, because and jujube tree twigs are strongest twigs of all tree that I have come to know. And I really want to explore so much with this process. I have like one of my room, I'm paying only 3,000 for keeping this kind of works, because I just can't stop myself.
Sector.
Yeah. Yeah. You got too far.
No,
Yeah,
I was
this
just
one.
showing the room.
Okay. Yeah. When I said blood came out of my hand, there the hand thing came up because there it started. And also, I am very much, loved that the creation of Adam, especially that hand gesture of Michelangelo.
Mhm.
You know, we sorts of supreme, always there is a concept. We want to know supreme. We want to indulge with the unknown that we haven't met yet, or we will never be, I think. But we create our own reality. We create our own god in our images. If you see all religions, they are all gods are human, something like that. And so here it's like they are both are same, and they are very much related to nature, because I have collected these two nature. They are kind of satisfying the existence, and there is no difference between our world or the exterior world or beyond universe, whatever we have. Everything is so very much of interrelated. So this is something like that. God, there is no difference between God and the human, something like that.
So you are also interested in making a passive commentary on what we say the social aspect of our and the religious aspect as well of our life, right? So
Yeah.
is it okay to say? So, but
Mm,
you, yeah, enlighten us on that. Like, is it that this is what you are trying to do? You are trying to bring in the concept which actually makes a commentary on the social and the religious aspect of our
yeah,
state.
yeah. I'm talking about the essence that all religion has, not the practice that they are doing, but everybody in every religion, they have that supreme being, whatever they are, whatever the images or names are, but the concept is there. That's what I'm dealing with little bit here.
All right.
And while I'm dealing with nature, they comes. Here, that Vitruvian man, it's called the breathing proportion.
Yeah.
And as an artist, sometimes I see images as they are, not the concept behind it very much. Sometimes, whenever I see that image, it always felt me like a tree. Actually, you see those had two hands and those head, they create that sense. That's how, while I was, got to understand the nerve system and all, though I got to how to deal with this material, and that's how this work become immersed. If you see the original work of Da Vinci, that Vitruvian man, he talks about proportion and how it's related to architecture of our body, also the architecture that we create to live in.
Right.
And that is so much of alive, that image shows of universalness. So here I try to articulate it in my own way, that breathing proportion, the proportion is how alive with the nature, not only the architecture of human body, the whole nature become indulged with that proportion.
So trying to give life to your own concept.
This is a quite big work. It's like 5 feet into 5 feet.
Yes, I've seen that work. I've seen this work. And you have, if we go back and see, these are without colors. These are like the brown twigs, right? But as we move forward, there's a development. We can see that you are adding colors into it. So
It's
what
like
was the reason behind it, and how you are progressing?
When you like keep working with one medium, so it requires something. I mean, by the time it asks for something else. That's why it's like it without that it will be very repetitive. So that's how this all are gets on adding to the objects that I am making.
All right. So here we can see that you have put in the dried flowers, right? So like why them? Why did you choose dried flowers?
First
we'll talk about the process of it later, but let's discuss that why you are including the dry flowers.
The dry flower I have used here because here its important is, now this is a computer stimulation line of frequency of any frequency, but here it is very much of a heartbeats line. As general people, whenever we see this line, we very much related to heartbeat or the frequency of our body. And if I would be doing this one only with the twigs, it won't make much sense actually. And also I was collecting for flower petals and I was preserving them. These are marigold flower petals and some other 1 or 2 flowers, I don't know their name. So how would you describe oxygen? You cannot see it, right? But you can see the component that that creates oxygen. So here the oxygen is very much visible. The breathing, how you will be alive without oxygen. So oxygen means here it shows the tree form fully. So without flower it would be a bit boring. That's how I intend to put flowers in there, and it's make as a tree in form of that computer stimulation frequency line or heartbeat.
That's a visual representation of the same.
It's a kind of a visual representation of oxygen or the sans living.
Or the rhythm that's going on, the living rhythm as So what about this?
This is, I was about to make this one as big as a landscape, like 8 or 10 feet, but it's hard to keep. So it's a snapshot of small landscape. You can consider it in that way. And it's dimensional one, and it's touchable. One would be able to touch. Though, like I have framed it, but it's depend upon the collector. He want to break it by touching, or want to keep it like that.
I remember I spoke to you about this art, and I was like, I want to buy it. I want to keep it to myself, and I wanted an installation made out of it, right? Because this is a very interesting art, and it's a very small piece.
It's a small one.
So what is the process that you use to dry the leaves? Because they are in a desired shape.
There is simple process actually. I peel, I take out the single flower petals and put them in a book cover and put it for at least 5-4 days. And the fiber flower has it absorbs the pigment, the hue, color hard. Sorry, the flower has. And by the time, all the flower doesn't work actually that way. Only there are some particular flowers like marigold, the brown one, that works very, very well. It creates darker, but it doesn't get that black. It can kind of light brown. Sometimes it's light, dark brown. So that's how, and also rose petals. And I intend to do work with nature because sometimes they have a life actually, their real life. It is not like a industrial material, or you just don't go and buy from art shop. So that's how it's begins. And you can see how I preserve these flower petals. This is how they become. This is the bougainvillea flower, kagas phool hota hai na. This is something. And these are barks that this is how in Delhi. When I tried to find out nature in Delhi, I really found it so much more than any other places. Like whatever material I need, it is available only in Delhi. I went to Odisha to do that tree works, but their tools are really weak. And I said, okay, so whatever we want, it is available everywhere. We just need to look for it.
Right. So let's talk about the
Yeah,
other
these
part.
are the I said no, that I used to make a lot of nests only before because I wasn't able to understand that how I can use it further. So you can just show all the nest works just to show the how the beginning was. And can you show back and forth those nest works only? Then we have to move forward. Yeah, that no go back.
This one?
No nest on the wall, the rough image. Yeah, you can see like I go and collect them, just put them in my room and see how I can work with them. As Anish Kapoor said, like you don't work, you don't go and think and start working. You go, you have all the work, all the materials present, then you try to indulge with it, and they emerge. They take their own space. They get a form. Yeah, now we can move
Right.
forward.
So uh, you do not change or morph the
Yeah,
material, right? You just
yeah.
keep it
I
exactly the same.
wanted it their original quality as much I can
So the
in my
organic form is
watercolor.
what you explore. The
Yeah,
organic form is what you explore.
yeah.
All right.
It's like how I can relate to myself without destroying their own quality.
All right. Okay. So do you want me to move forward?
Yeah.
What about
These
this?
this is actually, yeah. I work a lot of works at a time. Actually, I was simultaneously painting this kind of work or any other work. This is this I said that Twitch work I've been doing since last 8 years. This one I was doing while I was watching that Stephen Hawking video and all. That's how this nest becomes so much connected to the celestial body. And
Right.
also I was making lots of nests only. I was unable to understand what else to do. Then I joined them together for a single piece, and it was very much caring. The two shells, they are not like iron. That's how I put that heart symbol and some a kind of emerging out of it, just to experiment with things. You go through this kind of practice.
All right. So this
Yeah,
is your
go
process
forward.
where you are,
Yeah,
collecting
yeah,
your material.
yeah. Yeah, this is it was out of nowhere the work has came. While I was collecting twigs and all, I got that bird. There was a dead bird. Then I said, okay, let's make it live again. That concept had come at that time. So I bought it. I put it in a flower vase and put some soil to it and planted a small tree. And then when it's grown, I have given the title I am a bird. So it is sometimes I am unlearning, I'm relearning. Then I'm not calling a tree anymore tree, because when you break down the tree, you go to a sense that how it emerged. So you got sense that what are the components are this tree has observed. So the bird become alive here. It's no more a tree. It's a bird. I'm questioning the metamorphosis process, how everything is so intertwined, interconnected, and also trying to look as trying to look to a tiger, not as a tiger. Like a tiger is become a deer after eating it. It's something like this.
So it seems, now I'm bound to ask this question, that why nature is so important to you. because time and again, if we see that you
Yeah.
do pick up concepts which are completely related to
Yeah.
nature and the environment around.
It's actually it has a lot with my childhood actually, because when I was a kid I used to plant a lot of trees. Even after I coming from school, my brother and father, they used to send me for half an hour, go plant the trees, then only can go to play. So for half an hour after every day after 4 to 4:30 or 5 p.m. I have to plant trees. Now you can see them even in Google Map. That makes me happy sometimes. And
Yeah.
my family has this practice actually. We have planted. I think with my brother, with his friends and me, we used to plant a lot tree when I was a kid. Even we used to steal trees that we like. Just we can plant it somewhere that we like to. These all stupid things has happened, and that's how I am very much interested in nature. And I was a kid, I don't sleep in my home very much. At night also I go out and sleep alone at rooftop somewhere. It has a lot to do with my childhood, and I think nature also is a subject that is really endless. As long one alive, as long human life exists, it can explore it.
Right.
And this is that I have collected those barks now.
Right.
Before you showed, these are from there.
Right.
And while I was exploring those two-week works, then when you start from one thing, it leads to another. Then I just saw one tree bark was somewhere. Then the bark was quite interesting for me. I said, okay, how can I use it? I took it to my studio, and it was there almost for 5 years. Like I kind of collected these tweaks in 2014, I think. Then you can see the work is in 2019. So sometimes you just keep materials to tell their own story. Then where I have collected these tweaks actually, that place somewhere in there in Delhi where I stay, they cut those trees and there is a overbridge now. So then I realized actually what this tree tells about. So it takes me to that time when I see these birds. So that's why I said carbon dating means you take something, you see where it belongs. It had a history. It has a history of it. So that's how, and also how we can relate it. Like there are some smells you get sometimes that you go to that time that you have experienced earlier. So this is something like that. I'm looking through that part, its history. Yeah,
So,
that's how the landscapes are emerging. Yeah.
so unfortunately, we have to rejoin in 5 minutes. So let's
Oh,
quickly try and finish as much as possible in between.
yeah.
Okay, and I request everybody to rejoin.
I think first we have to let's show all the images. This would be good.
All
Then
right.
we can, yeah,
So these are the remains of the lost land.
yeah. Remains of
Again,
the
you are
lost
working
land.
with the bark and
Yeah, working. This is how this takes place.
right. Then we have remembering.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where your moon series starts, where we have to have a very important discussion about
Yeah,
how you have.
we can start from moon actually because we have discussed them. I think they kind of represents what earlier.
All
Yeah,
right. So let's start with the moon series then.
yeah.
What is the
This,
concept behind it, and how you have put in the two worlds together here?
yeah. Here it's called Broken Moon, and it deals with two perspectives. One is a tribal point of view, another is urban point of view. I was seeing a documentary in 2012 of an Amazonian tribe where modern world people showing a video of modern civilization to the Amazonian tribe and their reaction. They were recording their reaction. Can we show the reactions now from the beginning? Here, Amazonian tribes are seeing that video like while Neil Armstrong gone to the moon, and they showed that video to this Amazonian tribe, and this was their reactions.
Right.
On our end, we noticed some changes were increasingly warm. With your technology, you kill the moon, and you can read. Yeah. Now let's go to the work.
You want to go to the first work?
Yeah. So here I'm actually questioning to the whole scenario that as a modern one, like as a modern being that we live in, we love to conquer everything, but as tribes what they do is they actually care for everything. When they saw that video, the reaction they have showed, it was quite touchy to me because belongs to a rural area. There I kind of related myself to that tribe. And at the same time, also when you see Elon Musk and other things that they want to conquer moon, like how one would be, how one will what, deal with these all emotions at the same time, conquering things. This was a question on that, you know, that to that perspective, to that event that's keep happening.
Right. So like you
I like
actually
I
thought,
got I got little bit upset when, because these people were very worried at that time, because they are going to live in a place again in a forest area. They are not going to, live the way we live. But they didn't know this idea. They used to see moon as a, in a very emotional way. But now when they go back, and they will be, very much frustrated that it is like they are no more for them. It has spoiled or something like that.
Mhm.
And also I think this is, I'm not judging it, but sometimes it's just comes out, you just question it and try to as an artist try to deal with it in your own way. So that's how I
Yep.
broken the moon. It's more like
Mhm.
that broken area can show the work.
Mm.
The work, yeah. The broken area becomes like a constructive area or an urban area. It is the way we want to conquer moon or something.
Right.
And it has broken, it is made out of wood. Once you broken the wood, it can't be joined. So for the tribe, it is a wood that has broken, cannot be joined. For us, it is interesting that we are going to conquer. Yeah.
So, if we talk about the Amazonian tribes, they are, for them, the environment is sacred. And when
Yeah.
they think about moon, it's very far and it's so sacred for them that if some person has, like, a human being has reached to the
Yeah.
moon, for them, it's like disturbing the peace, right?
Yeah.
And that's what in the excerpts of the documentary we have put in here, they are
Yeah.
talking about, how difficult it is for them to understand that you reach to the moon, right? The
Yeah.
moon is
Yeah.
there to shed its light upon us during the night.
Yeah.
So let's move.
Yeah.
Hold on. These are the dark sky where you are exploring,
Yeah. Yeah.
the space, the time.
Yeah. And the dark sky you can show, or you can start from here.
Okay, we don't have much time left. It's just 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh, then let's start from here. This is the representation of my own, own state of mind or state of body. Sometimes I was having a chest pain actually. I just wanted to reach out my chest and get that nerve fixed so I can breathe properly. That's how this work has begun. Then I got to realize that how one should how one takes care of himself or herself, how throughout the time how we deal with our emotion. So here I am about to do several, like in numbers of works with only different that blue color, different colors that I have put in chest to show the by using aesthetics of colors and to depict different emotions and different body of different status of body, different state of mind that we go throughout life. Yeah.
Okay.
The posture is same, but only the color changes sometimes.
Okay. So,
So we have to rejoin
before
again, or what else?
we will be rejoining for 5 to 10 minutes again. So
Okay.
before we move on, another question which is very important is that what is integral in your art to you? What can you hear me?
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I can
I
hear.
mean, it's like what is integral to your art that makes you feel closer to being an experimentalist.
Yeah. For me, like myself is integral very much because I'm depicting myself in everywhere, and in myself in relation to my exterior is very much integral to my subjects, the subjects that I pick. Is because those 2 weeks and also the last work we have seen where I'm putting different colors of emotions. So these
Mm,
they always stay in, I think, every image of my work of art.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this was a reflection to the chaotic world actually. That the way we are become very much of materialistic, and we are losing ourselves sometimes. And what
Mhm.
Darwin says is that evolution is sometimes feels like it's lost. So
Right.
here it is like the Darwinian man is sleeping in its, in between its in evolutionary form, like kind of not developing anymore in a certain way. Like we are developing, but there are some senses that we are killing it actually. You can see the. Can you show the next image? So it can be show how I put. These are the nails actually,
Mhm.
metal pins. I put to show just to depict a pain, something like that. And uncompatibility, because whenever you get, I think you can relate to it. Anyone can relate to that. Why using the metal pin is kind of appropriate.
Right.
You can show, yeah, that pillow work. This is your
I-
work. Actually, I was sleeping a lot. I call it untitled. I have not given a title to it. In 2012 to 14, I was sleeping a lot. This is a pillow that I connected my brain to it. That I was kind of worried that what to paint. If you are so much frustrated, you paint the frustration. You paint that deals to deal with that. So this is a pillow that I used to sleep a lot. So then I painted that pillow. Not much to say, but a lot of pain in there.
But then again, okay, this is the last question. There is one more, but still, that, introspection is something that every artist does, right?
Yeah,
It's a part of the artistic process. But
yeah,
what is it that, how do you perceive introspection and self analysis? Because you have extensively spoken about, psychoanalysis, and you have also spoken
yeah.
about introspection at length.
Yeah.
And the second part of the question is that who is the protagonist in your work?
Okay.
To
For
the
me, like,
viewers,
yeah,
how can they understand that, what to focus upon? Like, who is the protagonist?
here it's the thing that leads here is it depends upon the work actually. If you see my 2x works,
Mhm.
the 2x are become more protagonist because they are expressing themselves. And also when you see other works like here, it is material, at the same time the concept I am putting in is also very much important. So it depends upon the work, individual works, that who defining that particular work. What is defining that particular work?
All right. Okay, so the pillow thing that you were talking about, it
Hmm.
is from a time where you were going through a lot and there was a lot of stress and depression,
Yeah,
and this kind of helped you in, it kind of gave you a cushion to your mind,
yeah.
right? So
It
can
is more
you?
like I'm painting my mind in there, because when you sleep, you get the only thing is so near to your brain is your comfort that gives the pillow. Here the pillow become the brain. It work, and you can see the green color I have put inside. I didn't actually choose green color. I think spontaneously it has happened, but now it makes sense because how I am very much relate myself to work with nature, and that's how I think it's a spontaneous output.
Okay. So I think let's conclude this now. Thank you so much for
Yes.
giving us, showing us the curated works.
Okay.
And thank you, Shield Art Initiative. Unfortunately, we have to go because there is an urgent meeting lined up already, and we have taken a lot of time. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And thank you, Samir. Thank you, Shield Art. Thank you, Vikas.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us, and I hope my words made sense of my work.
No, definitely, yeah. It was quite interesting to see the journey, and there would have been a lot of
Yeah.
questions, but due to the paucity of time, and of course, we have another session starting in next 3 minutes, so we have to wrap
Okay.
it up quickly. So yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, we
so-
will continue the discussion some other time. And thank you for your
Yeah,
time,
yeah, sure.
Priyanka and Samir.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Okay.